Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Noelle, aka Noe, for those of you who don't know me. If you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button, you're gonna love it here, I promise. And if you watched all my videos and you still haven't subscribed, it's giving hater. Also, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by. You're watching Noe's Diary. So as you can see by the title of today's video, we're going to be having a girl chat on how to keep our bestie fresh and clean. So this is a girls only video. No boys allowed.
It's just the jokes. Hey, man. It's just jokes. It's just joking.
I'm just kidding. If you're here to learn, then this is definitely the video for you. So stay tuned to learn about some tips that I personally use. If you hear any noises that come from outside or inside of the house, please bear with me. I will be getting a microphone. So if you hear any of these noises, don't be alarmed. Don't switch off this video. I promise you, it will be worth your while. Just a disclaimer as well, I am not a health practitioner, nor am I a doctor or going to be diagnosing anything. This is just me sharing my personal tips, what works for me, and it could possibly work for you. Or I know that we are not all the same and that different things work for different people, so different strokes for different folks. Okay, so here's something that not a lot of us are able to comprehend, or not comprehend, but come to terms with, is that you will
ever smell like flowers or roses
or like sweets. Like, you will just never ever smell like perfume, if that makes sense. You'll never smell amazing down there, and that's okay. Everybody has their own scent, which is for them specifically. Same way flowers have their own smells and scents, so do we as women, and we have to come to terms with the fact that we will never ever smell like artificial smells, and that's okay. So the first thing I want to get into is water. Water, yes, we know that people will be like, drink your water, drink your water. Drink your water. What you put in will come out. And as we know, our bestie, we're going to refer to her as our bestie, is always cleaning herself, especially during that time of the month. She will clean herself out. You need to just drink water to flush it out. So yeah, drink at least 2 liters of water a day. I know it is hard for some people to do that, but try and drink as much water as possible, because it does help with the whole detoxification of our bestie. Also, it does help with washing on the outside. So when we use water for our bestie, we will use it on the outside, never ever inside. We never go inside, because it is getting cleaned out from the inside out. So we don't have to worry about that. All we have to worry about is cleaning the outside, which can be used with just water. Now, I know sometimes you may have a little sweaty smell or any kind of smell. Well, then my next product is what I personally use, and what also works for me is a non-scented feminine wash. So this is the wash that I use. This is the Lillet. It is fragrance free. Buy any feminine wash that is fragrance free. Some of them do come with cranberry extract or aloe vera, which is also good for you, because cranberry and aloe vera help with calming as well as balancing out your pH levels. So that is also a good alternative, but also never go inside with it, because honey, that's just not the way to go. So we use that on the outside, and water and everything else will just flush out from the inside. Then next up, never ever use soap. Never. I don't know if I have brought this up already, but never ever use soap. When I was younger and I didn't know much about how to clean my bestie, I used soap and I
burned.
if you've used soap, you would know that that girl will burn. And also, it's just not good for you. It throws off your pH balance. It's just not a healthy thing to be putting inside of you. So never ever use soap. I know you get like feminine wash soaps that you can use, but then again, don't go inside, and it has to be fragrance free. The key to leveling your pH balance is to use fragrance-free products. Then we have what you put in your body also counts. So eating a lot of fruits and vegetables do count. I know we've all heard like eat your fruits, eat your vegetables, or you are what you eat. You literally are what you eat. So if you eat a lot of spicy things or a lot of things that are oily and junky, well then honey, don't cry when you start smelling all kinds of weirdness. Yeah, so what we use or what we put into our body is basically what is the result we'll get out. So I remember when I used to eat a lot of plain yogurt, which is so good for you. Plain yogurt helps neutralize, as well as it gives you a more, if I could say, like a milky kind of scent. I don't know if that makes sense. Like sometimes you would smell this during like your ovulation time, where it's got a bit of a sweet smell. And I'm not saying sweet as in like it smells like candy, but like it's got a bit of a little, like a very nice smell, you could say, like a milky-ish type of smell. I've noticed that when I used to eat plain yogurts, or when I eat plain yogurts, that's the kind of scent that comes through. So plain yogurt, fruits and vegetables are definitely your bestie, especially if you're having a hard time with balancing your pH levels. Okay, and then next up we're going to be talking about shaving. Now I know some people are 50-50 with this. You can either shave bald or you can trim. It's completely entirely up to you. But it is important that you know that hair tends to hold a lot of germs and sweat, and that means it's going to cause a lot of odors, which we are trying to avoid. And short hair is basically, it's better than having long hair that is just cascading down and soaking up all the urine that you've been doing throughout the day, which we don't want. And that also can give you a bit of a fishy or like a pee smell, which is not really cute, honey. So it's best to just keep it very trimmed, or if you're someone who likes to go bald, then do that for you. I would suggest if you do go bald, use a good blade. I tend to use the sensitive no hair removal cream, and that works for me, especially when I've let my hair get too long. Yeah, especially during the winter time. Then I will take my hair removal cream on the outsides, never ever ever on the insides. And then whatever else I need to do, I'll just go in with a clean new blade, just to make sure that there is no hair if I'm going for that kind of look. But also if it's trimming, then you have your little scissors specifically for that area, and then you can trim that off and make sure that you trim properly as well. Then also with shaving, sometimes I know we can experience razor bumps or ingrown hairs. I use this Via Smooth. This is specifically for ingrowns or any sores that you may come across with because of shaving. I love this product because it helps with making the pimple or even blind pimples smaller without pain, without burning them as well. It does have a bit of a vinegary like smell, but it's not something that's going to disturb other people. It's more so for that area, just to kind of clear it up so you will not smell anything. So I got this roller. This is the Via Smooth roller, and whenever I come across a little pimple or an ingrown, I just pop this on like 3 times a day, or depending on how serious the situation is, you use it as much as you can every single day. and you would wear your underwear, your cotton underwear. Then we're getting onto the topic of panty liners. Again, not everyone is for a panty liner. I specifically do use Always panty liners. Those are my favorite panty liners, and they're also scent free. As women, we tend to discharge every single day of the month, and our discharge may not look the same every single time during our phases of our cycles. So I use a panty liner especially leading up to my periods, simply because it can be a bit darker than other months, or it could be a bit darker than what it was throughout the month, simply because it's getting closer to the time of the month, and I do not want to ruin my favorite underwear, nor do I want any smells to go through my underwear. Like, I don't want other people to smell myself. And with panty liners, it is advisable that you change them at least twice a day, simply because it does tend to hold a lot of the discharge, which can make that can make bacteria, and then that could cause you to have BV. So don't forget to change them if you are going to be using them. It is advisable to at least change them once or twice a day. Okay, and then next up is a hack that I personally have been using as well. I got this hack from McKenna Walker. This was a couple of years ago when I watched one of her feminine hygiene videos. And honey, this is the witch hazel and rose water. Now I got this one from Dis-Chem. You can find it at Dis-Chem. I'm not too sure how much they are now, because I've had this for quite a while. I tend to use this on my butt, simply because I like to just smell fresh all the time. I know that we will have smells, but it's also good to try and avoid it. Then next up, here is something that I personally use, is specifically after that time of the month, which is citrus soda. I'll leave it up on the screen. I normally like to get the cranberry one because I don't like the taste of citrus soda. So I use this specifically when my pH is off, or when it's coming to the end of my cycle on my period, and you know, when we get that barbecue sauce, then it's not really a good smell, nor is it a good look, so I just try and flush it out. I use the cranberry flavor, and what I do is, normally people would use water to mix it with, but I use cranberry juice, and I'll tell you why. So as women, we tend to drink cranberry juice just for any UTIs that we may have. So in order to enhance the citrus soda cranberry juice flavor, I mix the juice with the citrus soda, and then once that's done, then I will drink my cranberry juice. You can also drink your water. You can flush that out with a glass of water and then drink cranberry juice. That has been my hack for the longest time, and I do this maybe like 2 to 3 times in the day until I start to see that, okay, it's clearing up, and also the pH level odor is starting to smell much better, in terms of it's not smelling like of the period smell, basically. So I use that, and it works wonders. It's chef's kiss. Like, try it and let me know how that works for you, because trust me, that is something that works so well. And if you also do it, well, then kudos to you, because that is a hack for me specifically that I did not know other people may or may not do. So yeah, I used that. I found that out during a time when I was at res at varsity, because we're using communal bathrooms and communal toilets, and the girls' toilet used to give me yeast infections like crazy, and it became too expensive for me to always go and buy the over-the-counter medication. So I tried to find simple ways on how to kind of remedy it, and citrus soda was that girl for me. So she can also help you with your yeast infections. So let's go on to yeast infections. So yeast infections. Now, a lot of us women tend to suffer from yeast infections either because we are stressed or there are other factors, as well as environment. So like sharing bathrooms or toilets or just feminine things which we shouldn't be doing, that can cause yeast infections. And as I did say that when I was sharing a communal bathroom, I would get yeast infections so frequently and it became expensive. So you can use over-the-counter the suppositories that you would use, but personally, when I was growing up or when I was younger, I could not afford to always go to Dis-Chem or Clicks and get them. So what I used was coconut oil. I used it on the outside as well as I put it on a panty liner, and that helped a lot, especially with the itching. Then I also used plain yogurt. I also used to put that at night only on my panty liner and go to bed, and it kind of helped, as well as eating it. You can also eat it as well. And then lastly, which was my mixture, that helped me so much, and that's when cranberry juice started becoming my best friend, simply because I had to survive in that environment. And also try and stay fresh and clean, because as women we tend to be a bit self-conscious with how we smell down there with our besties. And yeah, that was my staple. That's all I ever used, was like just natural or cheaper remedies that would be beneficial to me, and those definitely worked for me. Again, it may not work for everyone else, but that's just what worked for me. Then my next tip is wet wipes. Now, wet wipes have been a staple in my feminine hygiene simply because it does a better job than your regular toilet paper or your 2-ply toilet paper would do. Also, I get the non-scented or even a aloe vera scented kind of wet wipe, which is very good for the front as well as the back. It helps eliminate the odors and also keep you fresh and clean. So I would advise you to get wet wipes or feminine wipes are also good enough, but for a cheaper option as well as something that will last you throughout the month would be baby wipes, which are also very hypoallergenic, which would help you with not having any scents or interfering with your pH balance. So I would advise you to get wet wipes and make it part of your feminine hygiene routine, because trust me honey, it will eliminate your odors just like that and also keep you nice and fresh. I also use the wet wipes when it's during that time of the month, because I don't like that dry blood or even that blood smell after using the bathroom. So wet wipes definitely help with literally anything and everything in that specific area, and you can also use it with the witch hazel for your booty cheeks. Then lastly is our underwear. So the kind of underwear that we should be wearing is cotton and very breathable underwear, and that is definitely the key to also letting our bestie breathe and also get some fresh air. Sometimes sleeping without underwear at night is also very beneficial to you. It does help with airing her out, and so she's not always like kept in a cage every single time. So I would advise, if you're going to wear underwear, then get cotton underwear. Yeah, no fake like nylon or like polyester, because those tend to irritate, and also there's not much breathing space for that. So I would definitely advise that cotton is definitely the best way to go. In terms of color undies, when I go for a lighter color like white, I make sure I wear that, especially during that time where I'm not near my period or finishing my period. It's normally during, like, I would say like maybe ovulation or just before ovulation time, like where there's just a clear window. of nothing happening. That's normally when I tend to wear like lighter color panties. But then coming closer to that time of the month, then that's when I start to wear darker colors. And I know that sometimes, because our pH balances are never ever stable, when wearing darker colors, our discharge tends to bleach our underwear. That's how strong it is. Then that's a sign that you need to obviously get your pH level on a very balanced level. It is a normal thing to occur, so don't be alarmed if your black panty is now orange. It does happen, unfortunately. Even if you do, you try your best, it is normal for us to experience these little slip ups or like these mishaps. But that's just the beauty of being a woman, is that we will always experience and we're always learning on how to take care of our bodies. So don't be too hard on yourself and don't question yourself like, what is wrong with me? Why is this only happening to me? You're not the only one. And those who say it's never happened to me, well honey, you're God's favorite, because all of us have experienced some sort of panty mishaps. So yeah, in conclusion, always take care of your bestie. It's okay, you will never ever smell like roses. And yeah, just do your best to try and stay healthy, drink a lot of water, and you can also use my tips and tricks just to help with those little times where your pH levels are lower than expected or even higher than expected. So in closing of my video, if you loved this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also leave a comment down below, like and share this video to whoever you think may need to hear this information. And if you loved it, please subscribe to my channel and let's help grow the family. Thank you so much. Till next time, peace and love.